Have you ever woken up at 3 in the morning, stared at the cold shadows on your ceiling, and felt a heavy knot of anxiety tightening in your chest? You are not alone in that feeling. It is the year 2026, and for many hard-working people, the dream of a quiet and secure retirement feels like it is slipping through their fingers like dry sand. We look at our bank statements and then we look at the rising prices of basic groceries at the store. And the math simply does not seem to add up anymore. The world around us insists that if you did not start saving 20 or 30 years ago, you have already lost the race. But I am here to tell you that what the world is telling you is a lie, rooted in a complete misunderstanding of how true wealth actually functions. There is a hidden mechanism in the world of finance that most people never get to see because they choose to quit just a few feet before the finish line. It is called the tipping point, and it is the precise moment when your money starts working harder for you than you ever worked for it. Before we dive deep into the data and the strategies that will fundamentally change how you view your future, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. If you are ready to stop living in fear and start building your own freedom, leave a comment below saying, "I am starting today." Your engagement helps this message reach the people who need to hear it most in these uncertain times. Now, let us look at a staggering and sober reality we face in 2026. Data shows that the average person approaching retirement age currently has less than 2 weeks of living expenses saved for emergencies. Just 14 days of a safety net. That means a single unexpected car repair, a leak in the roof, or one medical bill can turn a stable life into a full-blown financial crisis in an instant. It is incredibly easy to feel defeated when you are in your 50s and you see that your retirement account is still far away from that mythical $1 million mark. But the reason you feel like you are not making progress is not because you are failing. It is because you are still in the grueling stage of building the heavy stone foundation. Think of it like the construction of a massive stone cathedral in the old world. For the first several years of work, all anyone sees is a giant hole in the ground, piles of dirt, and clouds of dust. To the casual observer, it does not look like a cathedral. It looks like a complete mess. Wealth building operates on the exact same principle. In the beginning, you are the only engine. Every single dollar in that account was put there by your sweat, your long hours, and your personal sacrifices. If you save just $5 a day, which is now less than the price of a simple latte in 2026, and you do it with total consistency, you are doing all the heavy lifting yourself. But eventually, if you stay the course, something magical and mathematical starts to happen. The first tipping point occurs when the interest and returns your account earns in a single year become larger than the total amount of money you contributed that year. This is the moment the machine starts to run on its own fuel for the very first time. Most people miss this incredible milestone because they are too focused on the total balance rather than the momentum. They see $100,000 and they think it is nowhere near enough to retire on, so they lose heart and stop their efforts. What they fail to realize is that those $100,000 have become a living, breathing entity that is growing and multiplying even while they are fast asleep. Let us talk about the second tipping point, which is where life truly begins to change. This is when your total investments earn as much in annual returns as your actual day job pays you in salary. Imagine for a moment having an identical twin who works exactly as hard as you do. But this twin does not need to eat, sleep, or take a single vacation day. At the end of every month, That twin gives you every single penny they earned. That is exactly what a $500,000 portfolio does when it grows at a conservative average of 10%. It effectively clones your income and doubles your productivity without you lifting a finger. In the volatile economic landscape of 2026, reaching this stage is the ultimate form of personal insurance. It means that if your employer walks in tomorrow and tells you that your position has been eliminated, your life does not collapse into ruin. You finally have the power to walk away because you are no longer a psychological slave to a bi-weekly paycheck. The third and final tipping point is what we define as true financial independence. This is when your portfolio has grown so large that you can safely withdraw 3.5% every year to cover every single one of your expenses, while the principal balance still continues to grow on its own. At this stage, you are no longer the one pushing the heavy boulder up the steep hill. The boulder has reached the peak and is now rolling down the other side, and you are simply walking behind it, enjoying the beautiful view. The most fascinating and overlooked part of this entire journey is the incredible speed of the second million. History and the laws of mathematics show us clearly that the first $100,000 is by far the hardest to earn. It is a grueling test of character that requires years of intense discipline and saying no to the things you want in the moment. But once you cross that first $1 million threshold, the journey to the second million often takes less than half the time of the first. In about 7 to 8 years of steady market growth, your money will literally double itself. Think about the gravity of that statement for a moment. It might have taken you 30 long years of labor to save your first $1 million, but it may only take 7 or 8 years to get the next million. This is the primary reason why the wealthy seem to get richer effortlessly, while everyone else continues to struggle. They are not necessarily working harder or being smarter. They have simply reached the institutional stage where math is doing all the heavy lifting for them. Now, if you are 50 or 60 years old right now, and you feel like you are dangerously behind, please do not let despair become your primary guide. In 2026, there are more specialized tools available for you than at any other point in history. The United States tax code provides what are known as catch-up contributions. If you are over the age of 50, the law allows you to put significantly more money into your 401k and your individual retirement accounts than someone in their 20s. The government understands that you are in the final sprint of your career, and they are essentially giving you a dedicated lane to run faster. Another powerful strategy is what we call downsizing with a clear and focused purpose. Perhaps that large 4-bedroom suburban house where you raised your children is now more of a burden than a blessing. Selling that property and moving into a smaller, more modern, and more efficient living space can release a massive amount of liquid cash. That cash, when placed into a simple and reliable index fund like the Standard & Poor's 500, can be the final spark that ignites your financial fire. You do not need to be a mathematical genius or a Wall Street insider to achieve this. You simply need to be more consistent than the average person. The average return of the stock market over the last 100 years has remained around 10% annually. Even when we account for the higher inflation rates we are experiencing this year, the real long-term growth remains a powerful force for those who stay invested. The absolute key to winning this game is to learn how to tune out the constant noise. The news media will always try to tell you that the sky is falling and that a crash is imminent. Social media will always show you young influencers who supposedly got rich overnight on a lucky crypto trade. But real wealth, the kind that allows you to sleep peacefully through the night, is built one solid brick at a time. It is built by the person who decides to prepare a healthy meal at home instead of spending $40 on a mediocre takeout order. It is built by the person who maintains their reliable car for 10 years instead of chasing the status of a new luxury lease every 36 months. These small daily wins do not feel like much when they are happening. They feel small, quiet, and honestly, quite insignificant. But they are the essential seeds of your future freedom and your peace of mind. Retirement is not a specific age you reach. It is not a random date on a calendar that says you are officially 65 years old. Retirement is a number on a balance sheet. It is the exact moment when your accumulated assets produce enough passive income to cover the cost of your life. For some disciplined people, that happens at age 40. For others who started later, it might happen at 70. The only thing that truly matters is that it actually happens for you. I want you to take a brief moment to think deeply about your legacy. A true legacy is not just a pile of cold cash that you leave behind for your children to spend. The real legacy is the powerful example of discipline and vision that you set for them. When you show your family that you can take total control of your life, that you can be disciplined in a world of chaos, and that you can build security from nothing, you are giving them something far more valuable than a bank account. You are giving them a map to their own success. Before we reach the conclusion of our time together today, please remember to share this video with at least one person you truly care about. We all have a friend, a neighbor, or a sibling who is quietly panicking about their financial future in this economy. Sending them this message of hope and logic might be the very first step in helping them find their own peace of mind. Also, are you going to finally cancel those 3 streaming subscriptions you never actually watch? Are you going to open that high-yield investment account you have been talking about for years? Let us support and encourage each other in this community of builders. As we look ahead through the rest of 2026 and into the future, always remember that time is your greatest and most loyal ally. Even if you only have 10 years left before you want to stop working, those 10 years can easily be the most financially productive years of your entire life. The power of compounding is like a giant, powerful spring that you have been winding up with every paycheck for decades. Right now, the spring might feel incredibly tight and difficult to turn even one more inch, but very soon, the mechanism will release, and that stored energy will carry you much further than you ever imagined possible. You are not too old to win. It is not too late to start. And you are certainly not a failure for where you are standing right now. You are simply a builder who is still finishing the foundation of a masterpiece. Keep placing your bricks with confidence. Keep your eyes fixed firmly on the horizon, and above all else, trust the math. The tipping point is coming for you, and when it finally hits, every single sacrifice you made will have been worth it. Thank you for spending this time with me today. God bless you on your personal journey to freedom. I look forward to seeing you in our next video.